Chapter 12: Air and Water. Learning Objectives: Atmosphere, Layers of Atmosphere, Composition of Air, Uses of Air, Impurities in Water, Air, Properties of Air, Water, Purification of Water. We all need air and water to survive. We need air to breathe and water to drink. We cannot live without air for more than a few minutes, and without water, we cannot survive for more than a few days. Plants and animals are equally dependent on air and water for their survival. Atmosphere. The blanket of air that surrounds the earth is called atmosphere. The gravitational pull of the earth holds the atmosphere around it. The atmosphere plays a vital role in our lives. The oxygen present in the atmosphere sustains life on Earth. It contains carbon dioxide that plants use in the process of making food through photosynthesis. It also acts as a protective blanket that traps solar energy to maintain the right temperature for the survival of all living organisms, stops the harmful ultraviolet rays of the sun from reaching the earth, and prevents meteors from hitting the surface of the earth. The density of the atmosphere is not the same throughout. It is thick near the ground and gets thinner as we go up. Sufficient oxygen-rich air for breathing is only present up to a very limited height of about 15 kilometers above the surface of the earth. This is why mountaineers carry oxygen while climbing mountains. Layers of atmosphere. The atmosphere consists of different layers. These are troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. Troposphere. This is the innermost layer of the atmosphere nearest to the Earth's surface. It extends up to 7 to 15 kilometers above the ground. Most of the weather changes occur in this layer. It acts as a blanket that protects the Earth from extreme heat during the day and extreme cold during the night. Stratosphere. This is the second layer of the atmosphere. It extends from 15 to 50 kilometers above the ground. This layer is free from weather conditions. Jet planes usually fly in this layer. It has a layer of ozone gas that protects us from the harmful ultraviolet rays of the sun, which may cause skin cancer and eye problems. Mesosphere. This is the third layer of the atmosphere. It extends from 50 to 85 kilometers above the ground. It protects the Earth from small rocks called meteorites from reaching the Earth's surface. They burn out in this layer, and thus the Earth is saved from destruction. Thermosphere. This is the fourth and the thickest layer of the atmosphere. It extends from 85 to 800 kilometers above the ground. Space shuttles orbit in this layer. The thermosphere is essential for all life on Earth because it shields us from some of the sun's most destructive rays, including X-rays and ultraviolet rays. Exosphere. This is the outermost layer of the atmosphere that contains very less air. The air in exosphere is mainly composed of gases like hydrogen and helium. Air is all around us. We cannot see it, but we can feel it when it moves. Moving air is called wind. When the movement of wind is fast and strong, we call it a storm. Composition of air. Air is a mixture of gases. It consists of about 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, and 1% of other gases like argon, carbon dioxide, hydrogen, ozone, etc. It also contains water vapor, dust, and smoke. Oxygen. Oxygen is the most important component gas of air that is essential for the survival of all living things as they breathe in oxygen. Oxygen also helps in burning. Nitrogen, major component of air, is nitrogen. Living things do not use it directly from the air. Plants use it with help of bacteria in the soil. It is added to the soil by using chemical fertilizers. Animals get nitrogen from plants, meat and fish. Carbon dioxide. We breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is an important gas for the plants. Plants make their food by the process of photosynthesis with the help of carbon dioxide, water and sunlight. Other gases. Air contains some other gases such as hydrogen, ozone, argon, neon, helium and krypton in very less quantities. Argon is used in laboratories to handle air-sensitive substances. Neon is used in colorful electrical neon lights. Helium is used to fill balloons as it is lighter. Water vapor. Air contains water in the form of water vapor due to the process of evaporation. The amount of water vapor present in the air is called humidity. Water vapor condenses to form clouds, fog and snow. Did you know? The term global warming, which means an increase in the Earth's average temperature surface due to greenhouse gas emissions, is believed to have been coined in 1975 by a geochemist Wallace Brocker. Properties of air. Air is colorless, odorless and tasteless, yet it is an important component of our environment. Let us study about the properties of air to understand its importance and how it impacts our lives. Air occupies space. Air is a mixture of gases, and gas is a state of matter. Just like other states of matter, air occupies space. Air visibly occupies space in an inflated balloon, football or tube of a vehicle tire. An empty glass tumbler is not really empty. It is filled. Air has weight. Since air is a state of matter, it has mass. This means that air has weight. Air exerts pressure in all directions. Air exerts pressure in all directions. Air exerts pressure on the surface that it comes in contact with because of gas particles colliding with the surface. Since the gas particles move randomly in all directions, they exert pressure equally in all the directions. Air expands on heating. Air is made of gases, and gases have molecules that starts to move on heating. That is the reason why air expands on heating and occupies more space. It also becomes lighter. Uses of air. All living things need air to breathe and survive. Apart from breathing, air is used for many things. Air is needed for burning. Oxygen helps in burning things. We use energy stored in wind to make electrical energy and use it on daily basis. Moving air is used to fly parachutes, hot air balloons and kites. It is also useful for sailboats. We also use air to dry our clothes. Water. We know that along with air, water is equally essential for the existence of all living things. Water is a compound of hydrogen and oxygen. Each molecule of water is made up of 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen, H2O. Water exists above the Earth's surface in the form of clouds, fog, dew, etc., and below the Earth's surface as underground water. On the Earth's surface, it is found in the oceans, seas, rivers, and lakes, etc. 3/4 of the surface of the Earth is covered with water. Properties of water. Some properties of water are as follows. Water is a universal solvent. it can dissolve many substances in it, like nutrients as well as pollutants. Water has high melting and boiling point. Water can absorb heat. Water is a colorless and odorless liquid. It exists in all the three states of matter, that is, solid ice, liquid water and gas water vapor. Uses of water. Water has various uses. Water is necessary for agriculture. In industries, water is used for production. In our houses, water is used for drinking, cooking, cleaning, bathing, and washing. We need to drink water when we are thirsty. We cannot stay without water for a long time. Impurities in water. Although huge quantity of water exists all around us, but all of it is not suitable for human consumption. The main source of water on the earth is rain. Rainwater is the purest form of natural water, but it collects impurities as it falls on the ground and passes through the environmental layers. Other primary sources of water are surface water and groundwater, but water from these sources also contains salt and mineral deposits dissolved in it, that makes it unfit for human consumption. Water has soluble impurities dissolve in water. Insoluble impurities do not dissolve in water and disease-causing germs. Consumption of impure water can make us fall sick. This makes it necessary to purify water and remove its impurities to make it suitable for human consumption. Removal of insoluble impurities. Insoluble impurities present in water are removed by the sedimentation followed by decantation and filtration. Sedimentation and decantation. The process of sedimentation involves the heavier solid particles in a liquid settling to the bottom of the container. Decantation is the process of tilting a liquid, draining it or dumping it into another container to separate the lighter liquid. Filtration. We can separate insoluble impurities from water by filtration. It is a purification process of separating solids from liquids using filter paper. Removal of soluble impurities. Soluble impurities are removed or separated from water by evaporation and distillation. Evaporation. The process by which water changes into steam or vapor is termed as evaporation. The solution with soluble impurities such as salt or sugar is heated till all the water is evaporated. The impurity is left behind in the evaporation dish. Distillation. Distillation is the most effective way to remove impurities. In this process, water is first heated so that the soluble impurities are left behind and water is converted into steam or vapor, which is then passed through a condenser kept cool by the cold water circulating around it. Here the vapor condenses and changes into water. The pure water thus collected is called distilled water. This is the purest form of water free from impurities of any kind and germs. It is mainly used in medicines, in science laboratories for experiments, and in carpet purification of water. Most of the water we use comes from rivers. This water has many impurities. It contains both soluble and insoluble impurities. It may also contain harmful microbes that may cause diseases like cholera, jaundice, dysentery, etc. Impure water is not potable. It is important to purify impure water to make it potable or fit for drinking and for other purposes. The clean water we get in our taps is first treated in water treatment plants before being supplied. Water is treated by sedimentation, filtration, and chlorination before it reaches our home. Sedimentation. water is pumped from the river into big tanks called reservoirs, where it is left undisturbed for a few days for the heavy suspended impurities to settle down. Chemicals like alum are added to help insoluble impurities to settle down. Filtration. After sedimentation, the water is collected in another tank and passed through sand, gravel, and charcoal to remove finer suspended insoluble impurities. Chlorination. The filtered water goes into a third tank where chlorine is added to kill harmful microbes that may cause waterborne diseases. The clean chlorinated water is finally stored in huge tanks and supplied to our homes through a network of pipelines. While the clean water passes through the pipes, it may get contaminated. To make sure that the water is germ-free and pure, we can boil it to kill the germs and use water filters or water purifiers, ROs, to remove suspended impurities. Keywords: evaporation, changing water to water vapor on heating. Sedimentation, a method of purifying water by allowing insoluble particles to settle down at the bottom of the container as sediment. Filtration, a method of purifying water by pouring through a funnel fitted with a cone of filter paper. Filtration, the clear water that gets collected after passing through the filter, residue, impurities left in the filter paper. Chapter Roundup. The blanket of air surrounding the Earth is called atmosphere. The atmosphere consists of different layers: troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. The constituents of air are 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, and 1% of remaining gases in small quantities. Air has weight. It occupies space, it exerts pressure, and it expands on heating. Air is used for breathing, burning, and generating energy. Water is essential for all living things. We can classify impurities present in water as soluble impurities and insoluble impurities. Insoluble impurities in water can be removed by the process of sedimentation, followed by decantation and filtration. We can use the methods of evaporation and distillation to remove soluble impurities from water. Water to towns and cities is supplied from lakes and rivers. This water is purified in the water treatment plants to make it safe for drinking and other uses. Boiling and using water filters or water purifiers are some methods of purifying water at home.